And we're is that good? Good audio?
Yeah.
The Cobry Compass is a service that we offer to organizations that want to get a hold of their data. For organizations that might have a bit of a mess of metrics, maybe a data team that are completely overworked, and just in general want a better data experience within their organization. We bundle tools such as Looker and BigQuery together with fantastic change management techniques and our approach to business intelligence to deliver data governance at scale to small, medium and large organizations. With regards to organizations that want to whip their data into shape, we come in from the technical aspect. We build data pipelines, we centralize your data, we embed governance tools that allow end users to probe all the data sources that they want to probe. But also, we have fantastic change management techniques that allow us to convey to the users how they could use these tools and make the most out of them. Because ultimately, technology that isn't used isn't good technology. There are lots of problems that plague organizations, whether that's data, processes and systems. But when it comes to data, and especially data accessibility, there's four main problems that we see at Cobry. The first one being an absolute avalanche of applications being bought off the shelf. We know that organizations like to move fast, and that usually means buying lots of tools, but that also means having lots of pocketed silos of data being generated within these tools. You need to democratize that and establish pipelines to centralize all these data sources. The second problem we see is a swamp of metrics. So data initiatives happen all the time. A lot of data gets made very available to a lot of people very fast. And a lot of people start losing alignment in their data when there's just so much of it. So it's also giving people access to the right data. We define that data dictionary that helps everyone stay aligned as to what is being measured, what's important, and maybe what isn't being measured as well. The third problem is what we like to call the shadow realm, when the data tools available to organizations are hard to use, difficult to understand, slow, or maybe even expensive. Smart users and well-intentioned users go off and do their own thing anyway. You might have the best data stack in the world, but if it's slow and expensive, your head of finance might just go off and make an Excel spreadsheet and disseminate that within your organization. And now what happens if that person leaves? Well, nobody knows how to run the process anymore. And what happens if that person maybe didn't think about security when they established this off-site workflow? Well, now there's a chance that your organizational data might be floating through the dark web. You can't really stop employees from doing things without being too strict, so we just have to deliver the best, the fastest, and the most cost-effective solution so that your employees will actually use it and choose not to do their own thing, because the thing that we deploy should be better. The last problem that we see, and this is probably the most common one, are data bottlenecks, or as we like to call them, data chokeholds. And what that means is that you've only got a couple of users or maybe a small team that are always at capacity and always have a long lead time to generating metrics. Where in reality, this team shouldn't be responding to almost tickets within your organization for people wanting metrics. This team should dive into the data and generate insight on their own accord using their skills and their knowledge that they've built over their careers. They should be diving into the data that your organization has to drive value. The Compass project has 3 steps, more or less. First of all, we do a data maturity mapping. And what that means is we go into your organization and we check what you're doing with your data. Are you generating data? Are you using this data to drive action? Because ultimately, data that isn't action is useless data. So what we do is we give you a data maturity index, and based off of this index, we create a roadmap for you to become a more data-driven business with defined milestones and timelines. Then we do a proof of concept, so we come in with Looker and BigQuery, and we define what your biggest pain point is with regards to your data, and we just deploy the tools for that subsection of your organization. That way you'll be able to see the value immediately. And once you're happy with that, your teams are raving about the tool, which I'm sure they will be, what we do is we do a full-on project with defined milestones, timelines, and based on those milestones that we identified in step number 1, the audit, we actually go around to implement that. So we get you to become a more data-driven business by deploying Looker and BigQuery, delivering data pipelines to centralize your information, and then being on hand with you to iterate and improve the systems that we've built for you.